Friends, welcome to our today's session. We are going to learn the topic foreign exchange market. So basically, we'll be learning the very basic concepts and the functions of forex market. This is a part of our syllabus, international trade and business. Under that, we are going to learn it. So please have a look at the slides that I'm going to share. Most of you must have heard about forex market. This is also called as forex market or FX market, foreign exchange market, right? So this is in fact the last module, fifth module we are going to start today. First, before understanding the meaning of foreign exchange market, we need to understand what is the meaning of forex or foreign exchange. And these foreign exchanges are important for us because when we import something, we need to settle the transaction by paying foreign exchanges. Importing countries pays money and exporting countries receives money, and these transactions happen through foreign currencies. Okay, so this currency which facilitates these payments transactions or these receipt transactions are called as foreign exchange. Suppose you are importing something from a foreign country, it is not necessary that they will be accepting your own domestic currency. So they may demand the payments in a particular currency. Suppose you are importing from a different country, they may ask you to settle the payment maybe in dollar, maybe in pound, maybe in any other currency. Okay, the settlement may happen in the home currency, maybe happen in any other foreign currency. Okay, right. So the foreign exchange is the money in one country for money or credit of goods and services in another country. That means we are receiving some goods and services and we are settling it through this foreign currency. And when we talk about this foreign exchange, it includes foreign currency, foreign checks, foreign drafts, all these things are covered here. And when you talk about foreign exchange market, this means the market where this forex or foreign exchanges are bought and sold. So if you do this international business, you need to deal with this foreign exchange. So this market is a physical market, it's an online market. Basically, both the things are possible. It may be a physical market, maybe an online market. It includes the infrastructural support, institutional support through which money of one country is exchanged for the money of another country. Suppose here also you need some money. For example, let us say you want to travel abroad for some certain things. First thing what is required is the foreign exchange. So you may go to a money changer, you may contact a commercial bank who is the authorized dealer and through which you arrange money, maybe in traveler's check form. Basically, what we are doing there, we are exchanging our domestic currency into some foreign currency. And this market is operated, or the rates in the markets are decided by two important forces. One is demand force and supply force. These forces decide what is the rate of the market, and this rate keeps on changing from time to time. And these foreign exchange transactions are completed in this market either physically or through online mode. This is the basic idea about the foreign exchange. Now coming to nature of this foreign exchange market, first of all, we have to keep in mind it's a widespread market. That means almost in every country there is a foreign exchange market, globally spread. And it operates 24/7, 365. That means always it is operational. Maybe in the some part of the country, if it is closed, in some other country it's open. And broadly, you can classify this market in two levels. One is called the wholesale market, other one is the retail market. Market is highly voluminous, so you can say daily transactions are around $1 trillion. Size of the market is quite big. Can be classified in these two ways. One is wholesale market and second one is retail market. Right, operates 24/7, 365, and it's widespread. These are the basic nature of the foreign exchange market. Now let us understand who are the participants in the market. So market means there has to be some participants, buyers and sellers, and other parties are also in there. The major participants are bank and non-bank forex dealers. Banks are the foreign exchange dealers, and there are also non-bank other financial institutions. They also act as foreign exchange dealers. And here this market can be classified into two tiers. One is wholesale market, second is the retail market, as we are discussing. And these participants, bank and non-bank dealers, they are also called as the market makers. Market makers means they quote the prices, buying price and selling price. Okay, for their buying price is referred to as the bid rate and selling price is referred to as the ask rate. Okay, bid rate and ask rate. Bid means buying rate, buying price. Buying price means buying price of the dealer. Suppose you want to buy $1. Okay, that means what exactly you'll be doing? You'll be giving Indian currency and buying $1. So you are buying $, means the dealer is selling you the $. So what is important for you in that situation is the selling price. Selling price means the ask price. Okay, but you have $, you want to sell the $. You want to sell the $, convert the $, into Indian rupees. Exactly, you are selling. You are selling means the dealer is buying. So what is relevant for you is the bid rate. So when you talk about the bid rate and ask rate, these rates are with reference to the seller or with reference to the dealer. So these banks and non-bank dealers are the major participants. Then individuals and farms also participate. Individuals like exporters, importers, even people, tourists, etc. They also participate in the market. They buy and sell foreign currencies. You can see that they are also participant. Then forex brokers are agents. So they enter into the market on behalf of some other person. So they charge their commission. They also participate in the market. There are speculators. They participate in the market. You will also would like to appreciate that this market is mostly dominated by speculators. Speculators, they try to earn profit out of trading. Meaning, when they feel the prices are going to go off, let us say dollar prices are going to go off, they will buy the dollar at lower rate. When price actually goes up, they sells it. So even if they don't have any actual need, they enter into the market and through this buying and selling process, they earn profit. They are called the speculators. So they are also, but they also do participate in the market. Then one more group of participants are arbitrators. Arbitrators, they buy from one market and sell from another market. They find out where there is some price discrepancies. It's just like stock exchanges also there are price discrepancies. One stock might be available at a particular price in a particular stock exchange. The same stock might be available at a different price in a different stock exchange. Okay, so just like in the forex market also, there is possibility that one market, one particular foreign exchange might be sold at a price, and another market it might be sold at a lower price. So here, what the arbitrator do? They buy from one market and sell it from another market, and in the process, they earn some money. Okay. So the speculators or arbitrators are participants. The central banks of various countries and government treasuries, they also participate in the foreign market. So you can say these are the major participants in the foreign market. So we can classify something like this: authorized dealers like commercial banks, state cooperative banks, urban cooperative banks. So they are the authorized dealers. They almost do all the activities which are permitted. Uh, they act as authorized dealer. The financial institutions are also participate. Okay, factoring agencies, financial institutions. Then full-fledged money changers, Department of Post, the urban cooperative banks, full-fledged money changers, they also participate in the market. Then other participants are also there, retail dealers, etc. They also participate. So market is like this. Now coming to functions of the market, two major functions will know what this market does. As you know, this is the physical and institutional structure through which money of one country is exchanged for another country. So this is one thing. This market provides this money changing facility. Second thing is that it helps us in determining the exchange rate. So people buy and sell in that platform. So this buying and selling forces creates a demand and supply forces, and this demand and supply forces decide the price. So the rate of a foreign exchange is determined in the foreign exchange market. Okay. Now this is one more way of classifying the forex market, as you can see. According to the transactions, I can classify it like a spot market or forward market. You know what is spot market and forward market? When I say about a spot market, that means transactions are settled immediately. When I talk about, when I speak something about forward market, the transaction is not settled immediately, it's settled at a future date. Oh, right. Suppose you are going to buy $100 after 2 months, right? So you may increase the price by entering into the forward market. So forward market is for future and spot market is for immediate transaction. And that is one way according to the transaction. Then a part of the forex market is also derivative market. You must have studied the subject derivative. So derivative foreign market can be of three types. One is future market, second is option market, third one is swap market. When you talk about future market, this also deals with future, something similar to forward market. But here, when you talk about the future market, there is one third party. Your agency gives a guarantee through which these foreign transactions are rotated. Okay, so there is a specific commission for that. For example, let us say you want to buy 100 units, 100 units of dollar in next month. So you can enter into the future market. Today you can buy a right to buy that dollar in after 1 month. So right will be available with you, and in the future you'll be able to exercise that right. Okay, someone will be selling that dollar. That's why then only you'll be able to buy that right. Right. And in that case, in this case, if the person who is selling is not turning up on the future date, then the exchange gives you a guarantee that you will settle the transaction. So that is the difference between forward and future. Forward, there is no guarantee. It is a one-to-one transaction. But futures are routed through exchange. Under future, what happens? You are getting a right to buy a foreign exchange or right to sell a foreign exchange. One more kind of derivative is option. Option also, it is a right to buy foreign exchange, a right to sell foreign exchange. But as I told you, in future, what happens? You are obliged to perform. Suppose you are supposed to buy 100 units of dollar, you are supposed to do it because you have got an obligation to do that. Under option, you don't have any obligation. Meaning, it's a right only. If you want, you can buy. If you don't want, you may not buy also. So you can exercise the option. You may exercise the option. You may not exercise the option. That's why it is called as the option market. Option market is more flexible because there is no mandatory requirement that you have to buy the currency or you have to sell the currency. As the name suggests, option means you may exercise the option, you may not exercise the option. Understood? What is future market? What is option market? Did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, one more kind of market is there. What is swap market? Swap market means exchange of two transactions, or you can say exchange of a stream of transactions. For example, let us say I am giving you dollar, you are giving me euro as loan. So today we'll exchange. I'll give you 100 units of dollar. You will give you equivalent amounts of euro to me. Okay, this is one transaction. Then periodically, what we'll do, we'll be exchanging interests on that, or finally we'll be settling the transaction. So these kind of transactions are referred to as swap. Okay, that means exchange of a series of transactions into different currencies. That is called as swap. So in the derivative component of forex market, there are futures, there are options, there are swaps. And then one more category of market, but one more way of categorizing the financial market is wholesale or interbank market, where banks participate. Next, retail market. Retail market means like you and I. If you want some foreign exchange, we can go to a money changer, or we can get to a bank and we can get it done. So bankers are, you can say, they participate in the wholesale market and we participate in the retail market. This is how we can structure the forex market. Is it clear to you? Did you understand
Yes,
this?
sir.
Yes. Thank you. Now, you know, through this market, foreign exchange rates are determined. So we need to know what is the rate of, let us say, we need to understand what is this foreign exchange rate. In fact, it is the rate. Rate means the price which is paid for home currency, paid in home currency for a unit of foreign currency. Suppose I will say dollar is 73. That means 73 rupees I have to pay in home currency to get 1 unit of dollar. Okay. And these exchange rates are quoted in various ways, like direct quote, indirect quote. As you know, bid rate, ask rate is one concept we already know. We'll be learning this concept maybe in our next session. Next class, we'll be learning about all these exchange rates, how market actually is operated. Then exchange rate in a free market is normally determined by these two forces, demand and supply of foreign currencies. The equilibrium exchange rate is the rate at which the demand of foreign exchange and the supply of foreign exchange is unequal. So people are demanding at a particular price. There are people who are ready to supply it at a particular price. When both the things, demand and supply requirement, matches with each other, so price is determined. This is how foreign exchange rates are decided. So rates are decided primarily, as you know, due to two forces. One is demand force, second is supply force. How demands are created. Why foreign exchange demands are there. These are some reasons why demands are created. Suppose we are importing something. When you import something, then naturally we need foreign exchange. It will create demand pressure. Or let us say we want to invest something in the form of FDI, that is foreign direct investment. Some other countries we want to make investment. So that will create demand pressure. Or let us say government wants to make some payment, maybe interest payment, maybe loan to some foreign countries. So foreign exchange demand is created. Or there might be some other outflow, let us say donations are to be given. So for these reasons, so demand of foreign exchanges are created. Demand forces originates from these reasons. Similarly, there are supply forces, and supply forces are supported by these reasons. If the country is exporting, then naturally some foreign exchange will be coming. Like again, if some foreign capital is also invested in the country, then also supply of foreign exchange will be there. If payments are received from foreign governments for settling their transaction, foreign exchange demand supply will be there. Okay, then inflow by non-resident individuals, okay, non-resident Indians, or donation received. These are also some of the sources through which we get supply of foreign currency. So these are certain demand forces, these are certain supply forces, and both of them decide what should be the rate of foreign exchange. Okay, there are in fact many other reasons which contribute for the exchange for the rate of foreign exchange. Okay, there are some other reasons. We will be discussing these things separately. Just have an idea that these are the forces which are operating in the market, foreign exchange market, to decide the foreign exchange rate. Okay, just look at this. One is international trade, that is export and import contribute to the rates. Speculations, speculators dominate the market, so their participation also affects the foreign exchange rate. Countries' balance of payment situation, that is inflow and outflow of foreign exchange. Then intervention of central bank, the central bank of the country sometimes intervenes to avoid, to smoothen the foreign exchange fluctuation. Economic fundamentals, that is demand and supply situation I told you. Political stability also affects the foreign exchange rate. Interest rate parity, if interest rates of two countries are different, then foreign exchange rate try to adjust that. So that theory is called as interest rate parity theory. Similarly, inflation rate. So foreign exchange also tries to, foreign exchange rate also tries to balance the inflation between two countries. So inflation rate also affects the foreign exchange market, foreign exchange rate. Then self-fulfilling prophecy. That means our own satisfaction. If you feel that foreign exchange will go off, then we keep on buying foreign exchange. Or if you feel that foreign exchange rate will go down, we keep on selling the foreign exchange. Okay, so this concept is called as the self-fulfilling prophecy. That what we feel, accordingly we behave. So that concept also affects the foreign exchange. So you can say these are the foreign exchange rate drivers which affect the foreign exchange. Did you get some idea about this market? So in detail, if you want to learn, you can go through these slides, but I explained all of them. That international trade affects the foreign exchange price, foreign exchange rate, speculation also affect, balance of payments, situation of the country also affect, intervention of central government, economic fundamentals, political stability, interest rate parity, inflation rate, self-fulfilling prophecy. All of these things affect our foreign exchange. Did you understand up to this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any query you have? Okay, so this concept will close it here.